What's happening, y'all? And welcome to yet another episode of Bring the Whiskey Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Damo Hicks. Along with me, as usual, on the far end is one of our other co-hosts, Kelvin Smith, the newbie, and
one of our other co-hosts,
the homie in the middle. He's always here. He's always there. He's always everywhere. The bourbon brain, the bow wheeler.
All right.
This is the last episode of season 1. So if you haven't watched all the other episodes, you got work to do. Because when we come back for season 2, we're going to blow your drawers off with alcohol tastings. Baby!
We did have. I did hear you say before we started there was someone that binge watched all of our episodes.
Yes.
No,
she said she binge watched.
That's a real fan.
Hey, we binge worthy.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
We binge worthy.
We are binge that on YouTube.
Binge.
So we fresh on the new year. Christmas is past. New Year's is past. I went to Kentucky, came back. That's my big milestone.
And what didn't you come back with?
What do you mean? Didn't?
Apparently, you said you bought back bottles.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I stumbled up on a bunch of special releases while I was out there, stood in a bunch of lines, but I didn't get everything I went to get. My main purpose was try to get a bottle of old. No, I mean, that's not why I went down there, but standing in that line, I was trying to get a bottle of Old Forester birthday bourbon or 150, and I was 5 people away. It was sold out. So I got some.
So we're gonna do a couple of shorts on that to get on the Instagram page so people see what you was going through down there. Now I just have one question:
what you was going through?
What I was going through? my troubles trying to get whiskey.
It was a whole environment. Like, you had COVID going on. You got
standing in line.
Yeah.
You got a lot of stuff going on. So you went through some stuff.
Singing Negro spirituals.
I was gonna ask: is it like an organized thing? Where do you go through is it like a trip?
No, I went for my the executive bourbon steward class. That's why I was down there. Yeah, the course, and then but yeah, the actual events, I was just happened to be driving down through what I think it's Bourbon Row, and I saw a line from the Old Forester, so I just pulled over and parked and got in the line. I didn't even know what was going on, and then
so
everybody was telling me what was possible. So then I was taking my fingers crossed, and they came out and told us what they had, which was the birthday. I think it was birthday bourbon, and then the 150, but they started counting, and they're like, "Yeah, sorry, you're not gonna get any." Everybody behind you, but we do have certain barrel picks that they were giving. So I did get 2 barrel.
So it's literally like a Jordan line where you stand up there, and only a certain amount of people gonna get the J's.
100%.
You gotta have your money ready.
And people had drove.
It ain't like that no more.
People have drove like this. The dude next to me who didn't get any had drove 3 hours in for that. The lady behind me had been there all morning with her baby. A baby in a carrier.
You wouldn't even sell your place in line, so would you?
I was not in the. I would. If I had been up there, no, I still wouldn't have.
All you would do,
but I didn't, so it didn't matter.
You would be an enabler if you had sold her your place in line.
That
woman should have never been out there with no baby in a liquor line.
I admire her commitment.
That ain't no commitment.
She was there. She was about it.
I 100% agree what she was doing.
She was
exactly why she was in that line for that liquor.
I hope she don't breastfeed.
You need it. Well,
hey, because one of them bags,
sweeter, they probably sleep better.
One of them bags is Sagamore.
Oh, Lord.
Get it? Because that's whiskey and it's
Sagamore, Maryland, Baltimore whiskey. Shout out Sagamore.
But it was also a titty joke. And shout out.
Did you see any black-owned distilleries while you were down there?
No. So the Brow Brothers just opened recently, but when I was down there, I don't think they were open when I was down there. And then the other one that I'm aware of, I know there are more than I'm about to mention, but Uncle Nearest is Tennessee, right? So that wasn't where I was.
Okay.
And then
shock. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, after I came back, somebody put a list out of black-owned distilleries, which is a lot more than I thought. So I wasn't even looking for anyone actually when I was down there, because I knew Brow Brothers was going to be the first to open in Kentucky. So that's what I had in my mind. I knew they hadn't quite put out anything yet while I was there. So I really wasn't looking.
So can we say this though? We skipped over the main point of all of this. You went there for a executive bourbon stewardship. The is that?
So,
and why is it only in Kentucky?
Right. And what makes it executive? Do you get a secretary?
No, I don't. So what makes it executive is that there's a bourbon steward, a certified bourbon steward, and then there's the executive bourbon steward. And the executive bourbon steward, the regular bourbon steward, it's a stave and thief society.
Let me see that. This guy got a book.
This book has been sitting behind us the whole season.
But
anyway,
I couldn't see it for all the.
So you order that book.
I thought it was Illuminati.
And you study that book. You take it as you can become a bourbon steward.
Okay.
Right? But then the executive bourbon steward, you actually have to go to Kentucky.
Gets a bathroom.
Well,
Executive Walker.
you get to actually participate in the making of the whiskey. You get you're doing a smell test, so you have a kit full of different aromas and smells, and you're tasting and all that good stuff. And you get a much deeper dive into the whole process of bourbon making.
You a bourbon sommelier.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because that's kind of why they stood that course up. It's because back in the day, not even back in the day, it was only several years ago, they tried to figure out, well, how do we become like wine? Where we have people talking about us, and we have people, the bartenders, actually talking about our whiskey and recommending flavor profiles and where it came from and notes, because you had sommeliers doing that for wine, but you didn't have anybody doing it for whiskey. So that's why they started, and it was actually supposed to be just for bartenders. But almost immediately, according to the instructor, it expanded to all kinds of people who just love bourbon. And
I like it. Is there a test at the end?
Yeah, there's a test. So I think it's a 100-question test.
How much you got to get? Past 70?
80. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So some people failed?
Some people, well, I don't know. They didn't tell us. They just gave us a box, and if you had your pen in your box, you passed.
Yeah. So you're drinking all this liquor, and then got to take a test.
Yeah.
And they expect you to pass.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we were in there and we were doing the tastings, and then the instructor tried to move on, but we had like 4 tastings we hadn't finished. And I raised my hand. I was like, so we can drink these, right? We can finish these off. He was like, yes, sir, but remember, you're about to take 100-question test in a little bit. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, bro.
So again, let's not get away from the whole point here. Are we like the only bourbon podcast right now that has its own bourbon sommelier?
I believe so.
And bourbon brain? Because
Yes,
if that's a fact,
I dare somebody to fact check that.
matter of fact check it and then put your address out there, and I'm gonna come to your house and bust your head open.
We need to see receipts. I need to see test scores. You might have one that failed, but we have one that passed.
And if he passed with an 80, he's some garbage. Because I'm pretty sure he got 100 out of 100. He's bourbon brain, for Christ's sake.
There it is.
I did get 100 out of 100.
He did get 100 out of 100.
Beat that.
On this one. Yeah, I got
Beat that.
Best bourbon podcast. Matter of fact, we put that out from now on.
65 looking bourbon experts out there. 65 score bourbon.
Season 2, 2021. That's how we flying in. Bourbon Brain, Bourbon Sommelier, the only one in the whole country on a podcast, and that's how I'm saying it. If anybody wants to at me on that, come to my house.
I don't know any of those statements to be factual. All I know is as of me going there,
until I find otherwise.
At least in Maryland, there's only 2. It's me and the guy who works for the Montgomery County Liquor Board.
He failed.
Yeah, no, I don't know. No, he passed.
He got an 83.
I don't know who he is though.
He's less than is what he is.
You can look him up on the
83
on the
after
site.
revision.
That's
so
right.
they revised.
on the curve. He got it on the curve.
And he cheated because he didn't take all his shots.
This man was loaded when he took his test.
Oh yeah,
got 100.
100%. Drinking whiskey all day.
And ask for more what podcast you want to watch? You want to watch a podcast of someone who tiptoed through the tastings and then got an 83, or a person who put his whole face in the bottle and still got 100?
Oh yeah, it was
natural talent. First round
good
draft pick.
Yeah, it was a good
first round
This
draft
was a good time.
He is the Jesus of bourbon. This is the Messiah.
Mess with it.
That's right.
So
What?
Let me get your handshake.
yeah.
What?
Oh no. Oh well,
Congratulations.
appreciate
What?
that. Appreciate
I'm
that.
just gonna sit here and
Appreciate
pump my chest out and just stare at the camera. What?
So today on the podcast, we have Jefferson Reserve.
And it's even more of a Jefferson Reserve because it came from a perfect score bourbon sommelier voice. What?
I think Jefferson should be appreciative that we are featuring him on it with a full blown accredited.
Cause let me tell you something. There's other podcasts out here and they just people. They ain't got no acronyms. They ain't got no
Status matters.
Executive
Credentials matter.
You may have a stewardship.
Yes.
But you ain't executive.
No.
You ain't got the bathroom key.
Probably
You
got-
ain't got
They probably got an apprentice. They probably got an apprentice.
You ain't-
They got an
You know
apprentice.
what's
or something
funny?
like that.
Speaking of the bathroom, funny story from when I was down there. So the whole time you are tasting stuff and nosing stuff, like you smelling and tasting, smelling stuff. There's an older gentleman down there. I won't say his name. His name is funny, but I won't say it because he may watch. I don't know. But we were standing in the bathroom line. He was an older dude, and he was like waiting for, socially distanced. So we standing in the bathroom line apart,
6 feet.
waiting for the park. And he's like, son. I was like, oh yeah. How you doing? He's like, yeah. He's like, my nose don't work real good, and I really can't, and neither do my taste buds. He said, I think I may have wasted my money on this course. And I said, well, "Sir, what did you think we were going to be doing at this?" He said, "Well, I thought we would just be learning and reading. I didn't realize we'd be tasting and nosing all that." I said, "Hey," in my mind, I'm like, it was in the description exactly what we had to do.
I would like to say that man has COVID.
Oh no, I think he's just
older.
6
feet from you.
Yeah, 100%. And we masked up.
And I would like to tell people out there, you did quarantine. You told me, you called me when you got back, said I'm quarantined. Like, he did exactly what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. We took off 2 weeks so I could self-isolate in quarantine just to make sure, and then I got tested.
Bring the Whiskey Podcast. We do the right way.
The right way.
So,
the only way.
And shout out Moonshine University is where the Staving Thief Society hosts their course.
I would like to get a doctorate from that.
And they have programs. I don't know about doctorate programs, but they did a great job. Like the desks were all socially distanced, and if you want, like they still did snacks and everything, but you just texted a young lady who brought me like 3 Cokes during the day and various. I was about to say various snacks. I was about to say various nuts, which I don't. In my mind, mine didn't come out, but
3
various. Jefferson Reserve. You say Jefferson Reserve.
That's not what you want to put out there about what she brought you through. Various nuts.
3.
And she got me.
Yes. Then he paused with him. We were looking at him like, what?
He was like, and you just text her.
Yeah, and she bring you the nuts.
Well, that happened to me once. That happened to me once in Vegas. I got a card walking down the strip. And I too had room service.
Shout out to sound like somebody that'll do.
Shout out to as they call it in the streets. Multiplier.
Anyway, the whole setup was really good. They did well. Everyone was very gracious. I apologize for all of that. Yeah, so
nuts.
Like oh my god!
I'm just gonna yell it out, man. Whatever. Get it back off the rails.
All right. So
from YouTube, banning people now. That's the thing to do right now, right?
Hey, we're not inciting riots. That's another story.
People getting banned.
We didn't do that.
So Jefferson Reserve in Kentucky. It's actually interesting. It's the Jefferson Reserve is the name of the whiskey, but the company's name is McLean and Kind. And then the
McLean, you say.
And then they have even another AKA Kentucky Artisan Distillery. So it's in the Kentucky Artisan Distillery, owned by McLean and Kind. They produce Jefferson Reserve.
And they are consciously trying to promote it as Thomas Jefferson, right? Because I see him on the back of the bottle right here.
Because apparently
he's not even from Kentucky. He's from Virginia, right? Yeah. Well, he's actually from England, but
yeah. So the reason the reason they chose him was apparently because he had a experimental and innovative spirit. So that's why they chose Jefferson. Yeah. We know. Yeah.
Was it black?
Shout out to our founding fathers.
Yeah.
Was it a black spirit?
And so their company does a lot of experiments.
Learned a lot about him lately.
Yeah. So it's kind of far up here.
I would have got it for you.
But they have 3 standard expressions, right?
So this is the regular.
This is regular.
This is the regular deadline.
This is probably one. This is an interesting Jefferson Reserve flight because the 3 main ones that they have, we only have one of those represented, which is the small batch blend.
Right. We don't have Ocean or nothing.
Right. Ocean is their other main one, and then regular Jefferson Reserve are the 3 main expressions. And then they have a bunch of experimental stuff like these.
I have a story about Jefferson Ocean. Matter of fact, you were in it. You're in the story. Remember, I got the bottle for my birthday. Brought it over to the crib, and we were just like, "Hey," I was like, "I'm gonna pop it. I'm gonna pop it with my homie." Took it over to Bo House, and we were like, "Yeah, let's just take a shot of it real quick, just We took a shot of it. That joint destroyed. All of it. The whole thing down here, and we looked at it, and we was like, "Oh, this is Castro."
yeah, it was Castro.
Yeah, that joint was like some change.
It's something different when you're not ready for it. Yeah, we're not ready for it.
When you're not prepared.
Yeah,
that's just like walking around the corner and getting punched in the chest by Martin Luther King. That's a Coming to America
joke. Yeah. Coming to America. I thought you was somebody else.
Coming to America 1 or 2.
1.
Are you real quick? Are you looking forward to 2?
100%.
I've seen the preview. Some people are saying
after the trailer, yes.
Some people saying no, but
that's because they don't want it. That's because they don't want it to mess up.
Yeah, I got you.
They don't want to mess up what they got up here. That joint is legendary.
They got to come correct. That's all I can say.
The trailer excites me.
Yeah,
but they can always splice a movie to look good in the trailer. I done found the Hollywood good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
They're good at picking out the best parts, and then you get there and that was all. That was only part
of the sequence. Like they'll put something like to make it look better.
The trailer got me hyped.
Yeah,
the trailer got me hyped.
I like it. I'm ready for it. Hopefully it come out good.
The trailer definitely got me super hyped.
So they opened in 1997. Again, the one we tasting right now is their regular small batch. And this one goes for about $36, which is on the low end because Jefferson is pretty expensive. So this
definitely is.
Regular Reserve is up past 80, and Jefferson Ocean sometimes can even be more expensive than that.
Bottle's beautiful. Did you? Before we taste it, did you learn any new techniques that you didn't know about nosing and tasting?
No, I think we've done a lot of the different techniques here on the podcast, but the one that they use in the course in particular was the one where you just keep your mouth open. And
that's the gargling hot.
And yeah. And they went through a lot of the different techniques to kind of look at it and legs and stuff, but they were very chill. Like they're not trying to make bourbon snobs down there. So they're like they don't really get into the whole legs of the bourbon, which is how it sticks to the side of the glass.
They're not trying to make bourbon snobs. They just invite them.
No, they're real. What they want is for more people.
Hence why you came.
So yeah, no new techniques, just
same
way
thing.
we've been doing it.
Way we've been doing it is good. We learned a little bit more with sort of tasting and getting flavor profiles off of distillate. So like the stuff that comes out of the still, the heads, the hearts, the tails, and getting through different flavor profiles that are coming off of still to capture like the good stuff. But other than that, in terms of tasting, I think we've been pretty much doing the same thing.
Do you think that at some point you were going to go Super Saiyan on this and elevate to coming up to with your own nosing
techniques?
Yep. And call it the Wheeler.
Yeah, it's gonna be you put a straw in it and like
the Wheeler wine. The Wheeler wine.
You pour a little bit on the table. I call it the Wheeler technique.
The Wheeler wine.
And you get it right there in your sinuses. And you know it's working when your nose bleeds.
Please, nobody try that at home.
Like it's working. It's working.
This is some good stuff.
This is good.
It's even really better when you do the Wheeler.
Yeah.
So
this is some good stuff.
I get like caramel. I get
a gang of caramel. This joint is caramel frappuccino caramel.
And
it does have that sweetness.
It gives me pumpkin pie too. That's what I get.
Really smooth too.
I tell you what, I can't say anything at this point.
This tastes like 1776.
You literally got the certification.
The founding of the nation.
I know.
This is what it tastes like. This is America.
I'm just a guy. I know nothing anymore. I'm just gonna be like caramel, and you say I'm like, yeah. I'm just co-signing everything.
I know there was one question on the test that you probably you got 100 right. So I know this question was not on there.
What?
What's in candy corn?
No, that was not. It's not on there. It's not on there at all.
This is the executive test, Kelvin.
Not just the
random. It's not the billion soul test. Not the 1 billion soul test.
Not the random bar trivia. the random bar trivia finals.
So this is actually really good, and in terms of price point, it's a great way to sort of taste the Jefferson Reserve line without having to pay the high dollar fee for the other stuff like Ocean and
you
Reserve.
Said it starts at what again? One more time.
I picked this up for $36.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I would say
but you know where to buy liquor at. Well, the average price of this is probably be more if you go to a regular store. It is? Okay.
So I would say with Jefferson, and this is just how I feel. With that price point, right? It's not your bottom tier like your Bullet or your Jack Daniels, right? So if you want to get your feet wet in like the more higher upper echelon of whiskeys,
I can see it.
I would say this is how you get your toe wet.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you can put that on your bar and people won't be like that.
Yeah,
right?
I would call it an entry level price point. But
also
to good stuff. But I wouldn't say Bullet is whatever you just said.
No. I'm saying price point.
Yeah, price point. Okay.
Bullet is cheaper than that.
Yeah, and I like Bullet.
What I said was Jack Daniels.
Yeah. Is there such thing as a rail bourbon?
Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
So Jack Daniels is a real, but they make some good expressions.
Well, there's still a debate.
Because you have real
even
vodka,
in that
vodka,
course,
real gin, real rum.
Well, again, like remember now, we're talking bourbon.
Yes.
With Jack Daniels and Tennessee whiskey.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
there's a difference.
But the rail bourbon, Jim Beam, is a real bourbon.
Real bourbon.
Beam.
So that's what you'd be paying the cheapest for at the bar.
Should be, and in the store,
And then at a bar, what would you expect to pay for this at a bar around this area where we're at in Maryland?
A glass is at a bar?
Yeah.
12?
Oh,
Shot of
yeah,
it.
12.
$12
12 easy.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I've been some places that are selling Maker's Mark for $12.
Buddy, let me
Yes.
tell you something. I went out this past weekend and had some Whistle Pig 15. Ooh, $56 I paid
shot?
for a glass on the rock.
Why are you doing this at retail establishment?
Because a bottle of it
We know
costs
where
like
the money
two and
at.
some change.
We know where the money at.
You know, you could have took one of them gift sets from the house. So anyway,
I did not know that, and I will be going there after this show is over. I'll be going down to the house to get my gift set.
Which one of these cameras on me?
All of them. I'll be going there after the show to get my Whistle Pig gift set.
So I could do my.
Hell, I filmed the short, and I still didn't get one.
So I could do my.
I didn't owe them either.
Steve Carell from The Office face.
We both did it at the same time. You saw I look like.
hey man,
Is that a fact?
I'm building my whiskey reading library.
Oh, you just could have came through and just got that from my bathroom.
He's a changed.
He used that for fragrance.
Changed man. He's a changed man since he went down there and got baptized in the spirit.
Hey, I can say nothing. I can't say nothing to him.
I know. He's a new man. He went down there as Bo. He came back as what's your new name now? Did they name you?
No, it's still Bo. You can go,
Okay.
Mr. Wheeler.
Mr.
Wheeler.
now.
We can go Mr. Wheeler.
Malik Bourbon X.
X. You said Bourbon X.
Bourbon X.
Bourbon X.
Bourbon X.
There you go. I see that. Okay. So overall, we can give a quick review of this.
Bo is my sleeve.
We all loving this, right?
Yeah.
The
Oh,
basic,
1000.
the basic expression of Jefferson. We all loving.
Yes.
Moving on. Okay.
Oh yeah. So Jefferson Reserve. Jefferson Reserve rum cask.
I'm with that.
Is this one, right? This is a brand new bottle pop. This is the regular Jefferson Reserve, but then it's aged another 15 months in Gosling Special Family Reserve rum barrels.
The dark and stormy.
So
Beautiful bottle.
I'm excited about that. Oh man, we missed the bottle.
Now is
It's
there
brand new bottle?
Yeah, do it one time for me. There you go. Got a nice one. Now, is there a reason why it's darker? What's
That rum
That's
cask.
the rum
that
cask.
rum cask? Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, this is going to be a little lighter anyway because
Yeah.
it's a blend. So the regular Jefferson Reserve, I believe, is a little darker than that. And then 15 more months in another barrel.
15 more months in a row.
Now, is there something to every time we reviewed a lot of bourbons on here, different expressions of some of the more popular brands. Every time we get a special edition or a select reserve or whatever it is, it's always darker.
Well, yeah.
Why is that?
A lot
Why
of
is that? Why is
a lot
that?
sweeter.
a lot of time, well, because a lot of those are ones that are Lord have mercy that are aged. Well, the next one is in a full black bottle, so we'll have a whole
We've done
conversation
that
about
like 2 or
that.
3 times. I've seen an all black bottle select reserve.
Lord have mercy. So it has to do with age because a lot of times the good ones are older. Not and that's not to say there aren't good young ones, but a lot of times the special reserves and all that stuff have either been finished in a different cask, but they've also been in a barrel longer,
Okay.
which makes them
like rum.
darker.
It smell like rum.
Yeah, let's go ahead and taste it. And so the other thing about Jefferson, just real quick, is that their mash bill is kind of a secret. They haven't told anybody what it is. People guess that it's 60-30-10.
Pumpkin pie filling.
Yeah,
brown
nobody
sugar.
really knows. So it's just an interesting nugget.
And a little bit of wheat.
A hug of love.
mash
A
bill.
hug of love.
And a little bit of wheat.
Well, give us that ratio that you just explained right there. Highlight that for us real quick. You said 60.
It's
What
the
now?
ingredients in the
ratio.
mash.
Yep.
60% corn.
Gotcha.
30% rye.
Yep.
10% malted barley.
Okay, take that with you.
Yeah.
So when you did it, did you put your lip in there?
Just to nose it?
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
I thought you put your top lip. You do got your lip in
I
there.
mean, that one I did. I was trying to do what you said. I was trying to recreate what you said.
I think you should do that though. You put your lip in there. That way you get some breath.
And then it goes.
That way you know it
travels through your nose and out your mouth. Now, the other thing of
Definitely
note
cures COVID.
is that your dominant nostril switches every 3 hours. So it's also good
They
to
teach
go,
that? That's cool.
go nose to nose. Yeah.
Executive.
What?
My guess is that's left over from
I did not know
our
that.
survival instinct so that we could smell a tiger.
I probably
creeping up
got
on
like
us.
5 or 6 wrinkles on my brain just from this episode. Your dominant nostril changes every couple hours.
Hey, if you put your lip in it, it's a different thing.
Yeah, I don't really worry about where my lip is going,
No, just
but
put
it
in there.
ends
You-
up in there.
You dip in there and you put a little breath in there, and then you smell it up there. I think that opens it. Yeah. Hey, if you don't, I just came up with a new nosing technique. Put your lip in there.
You gotta have proper dental hygiene to try that though.
Yeah.
Do not
definitely
try
got-
this at home.
Yeah. If you
Put
got
your lip in it.
If you got halitosis, don't do that.
Put your lip in it.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it. You need to know
the last bourbon you tasted.
You need to make sure that you get all back there and everything. And
like
then,
this, they be like, this smell like baby, that's you. That's you.
It's not the bourbon. That's your gums. It ain't the rum. It's your gum.
I like it. Say it one more time for
It ain't the rum. It's your gum. Lord have mercy. Hey, can we put together a reel of all the dope sayings?
That just brings so much nastiness to my mind. Like, imagine, oh my God, I know bars practice great hygiene, but like, imagine if you know someone that has halitosis and you see them in the bar. Do you really want to go in there and drink after them and like, ugh?
So, hey, you need to taste this.
Take that.
Oh no, I never drink out of anybody's glass.
No, I'm saying just sitting down at the bar and
oh,
you a
next
glass
to him.
that you hope it's been washed.
That's you hope it's been washed. Yeah, that always kills me when I go and somebody asks for a straw because they don't want to drink out the glass. It was like, you realize the beverage is in the glass, right?
This thing is
anything that's in that glass is already in your drink. The straw's not saving you from anything.
Please practice proper hygiene at these
This
bars.
is way more complex, but then it has it finishes like rum.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a rum finish on it, but on the top end, it's got the cane from the rum.
This shit's good.
But it ends off.
It is good.
Boy.
Way more complex than
Shouts
that.
out to Bourbon X for putting this. This is an outstanding flight.
Way more body.
I like it.
I'm feeling it, boy.
Yeah, it's got way more body. You know why? Because it's darker than the other.
Now, I can definitely sip on this. I can sip on this. I'm gonna need some of this for these playoffs on my team's losing.
On the nose, I'm getting a lot of cherry, but I'm not in the actual finish. I'm getting a lot of spice in the finish, and I'm getting more.
I feel my cup up.
I think I'm getting more rye in there than I would have expected. You know, it's 30% rye. I feel like the rum cast would have overpowered it, but I do get some
remind
of
us for the newbies and for myself also. If you have rye, you don't have what?
Wheat.
Wheat. Okay, so rye replaces wheat. If you have rye, there's never a bourbon where blend where you can have rye and wheat.
Oh no, you could.
But in traditionally, is either rye or wheat. That's one of the staple ingredients.
Traditionally, it's either or.
Got you with the 60 ratio.
Yeah, but everyone uses a different mash bill. Yes. So like one of my favorite brands uses 74% corn, but they also go into the barrel at a lower proof. All of that brings, you know, the different flavor profiles, and I think that's one of my favorites is a high corn that goes into the barrel to age at a lower proof. Most people put it in the barrel to age at 125 because you get the most product.
And then you put it at a certain date on that age and what range you're looking for? 10 to 11 years, 5, 10 years?
No, I defer to the master distiller on that, but I know I prefer older bourbons. Like when I say older, I don't mean like Van Winkle 23. I mean like somewhere in the 8-year range is
what about
where
you, Damo?
Things I like.
You got an age range you prefer your bourbons in? Because people like 17 year Scotch, 12 year Scotch, like so. But in the bourbon, you got something that does it make a difference? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, to be honest, it doesn't matter to me. But I do notice that there are certain things that, when they're older, taste completely different.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually a great point for Jefferson too, because one of their selling points to start and why that first bottle of Jefferson Reserve was so high was that they started with a 14-year-old bourbon, and then they blended other younger bourbons with it to kind of fill it out. But it's just that age statement. So the other bourbons went into it, and it still came out as a great product. So it really is just, you know, the taste profile you're going for. It's not age is not necessarily the defining factor in flavor.
I think that's an important point that you both have made, because like a lot of people look at when you first walk in the bar and you're trying to, you know, put yourself up in, like we said, go into the entry level, better tasting bourbon. You're looking at the age, like, man, if it's older, it must be better. It's a
status symbol. It's a status symbol for the bottle. I mean, and there are characteristics that happen with older age. And don't get me wrong on that. But if you don't really know what you're tasting, and you are, you know, with your you know, white collar amigos, and you order that Macallan 23, it says something about, you know, it's a social. So
it's more about you than what it is about the bourbon.
If
Agreed.
I would say,
So if I'm my white collar friends as opposed to my blue collar friends, it's different. Just
but there's certain joints that
could be
the older does not necessarily make it the best one in their line.
not at
that's
all.
what I was trying to
not
get
at
to.
all.
Because I've had some where you go to the older one and it's like,
Exactly.
And then you get like the one underneath of it. It might be like a 12-year or a 10-year, and that joint is way better.
Yeah, because
I think we've done that on this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you get a ratio, right, where as it starts to get older, you start to take on more of that woody flavor.
Yeah.
And especially if you're not already a heavy wooded bourbon drinker,
connoisseur.
it can be off-putting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets bitter.
Yeah, and that might turn a lot of people off. I think,
Which is and I'd like to segue this to a portion of the show that I'd like to start at the end of the season called Whiskey is like a person.
Go ahead.
Just because you're old don't mean you demand respect if you's an old jack.
That's very true.
Preach.
Sometimes young people, such as ourselves,
Yes.
can bring more to the table than some old idiot.
Preach.
It's a yes. Age.
However-
age does not equal wisdom. The same way in bourbons, age does not equal flavor
However,
or quality.
Yes.
when it comes to the darker of the beverage.
Okay. All right. Can you hand me that next one, Kelvin? The black.
All right,
the
so
black
quick impressions on this one though. We all messing with this. We all messing with it.
Yes, this is full body. I would, I may get like
I would
targeted for
stick out
saying
there.
this,
Yeah.
but I would love to
And
have
what's our
that
price point
over a nice big ice cube.
Yep. What's our price point?
On that one we're back up in the Jefferson Reserve area. $89 is what I paid for that one.
So this guy right here, I would do that with a nice cigar.
So
That joint, I can just do that.
I
just
saw something
chilling.
that's trending on Instagram with the bourbon. Some of the other pages of our other bourbon expertise we follow. They have the big ice cube frozen in the glass. I like that. I'm gonna try that.
That's the move right there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What's that now?
You can
That's
get
the
them,
move. That's
Yeah,
the move.
that
Get a big-
is.
Get
So-
a big sphere or something
Yeah.
like that?
and there's science behind that, right?
Yeah.
Because the surface area ratio of the ice allows it to melt much slower, so it doesn't dilute the whiskey immediately.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to get, if you wanted to bloom faster,
Yeah.
you get a little couple cubes.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, you want long
Saturate.
longevity.
Yeah, kind of saturate in there. Yeah.
You get the.
Makes sense.
So
Yep.
All right.
Next one we have here is a first for the Bring the Whiskey podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Bring the Whiskey, and then also subscribe on YouTube.
Full episodes on YouTube.
Alert, all that good stuff. Full episodes on
And
YouTube.
And Facebook. Yep.
Yeah, and
Sorry,
Facebook.
So we did a.
So this is a first because this is a cocktail in a.
We did a short with
bottle.
this.
We did.
You did. You were
Oh,
like,
I
hey,
did.
everybody.
Here, that's my tagline.
Yeah.
Hey,
But now
hey
we're
everybody.
Now we're gonna go to full.
Now
We're
going
gonna go to full
Now
review.
we all.
yeah,
full review, yeah.
full review.
Because before he just did a quick little, hey, everybody.
Now, if you don't know, when he's doing these shorts, we're just looking back like, man, I wish I could taste that. He tastes it, he puts it back in his liquor cabinet, and then we move on to the show.
That is not true.
Let me tell you.
It's not true.
If
It's not most of the time. It's not true.
if
Most of the time, it's
It goes
not.
all the way in the back of the liquor cabinet. The liquor cabinet is closed.
If my-
and then let's say, y'all ready for the show?
if my rules was a person,
It's not true at all. That's
I'm
not
gonna do
true.
this short real quick.
Hopefully
that-
they taught you a little humility.
You're like, hey, everybody, such, the nosing and the this, that, and the third.
These are all false statements. There's
This,
never.
this is an outstanding short. You should really try this. Cut.
right.
I put it up.
Have you ever asked me to try
like
something?
this.
Have you ever asked me to try something and I said no? Not ever. Not
I didn't
ever.
feel like I could. When the Blood Oath came out, I felt like it just was going back in the cabinet.
I felt like
We tried that. That was our pregame.
I don't. It wasn't on film.
I don't know. I feel
If
like-
it wasn't on film, it don't.
I feel like
count.
he's gonna slap me.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I could. I
Shut
felt
your
like
dumb ass up.
I felt like I was there to hold that camera and to give him cues.
I just wanted to try it too. Shut your dumb ass up. You get what I give you on the show.
The hell wrong with you?
Next time we at the house enjoying, I'm gonna make sure we videotape it and post it. Y'all was just
Hey, can we do
What
it?
happens is
Can we get
he
a,
made that distinction that when we leave, the white collar friends get called over. Blood Oath gets brought back out.
Blood Oath gets enjoyed with cubes and
enjoyed.
conversation, whereas we just get a little.
I can even see him now. Like,
Little sip.
I just want to share this with some people that can really appreciate this.
oh my gosh,
Is that what it was?
100% not true. Can I just say something about this candle though?
Go ahead.
Please do.
Yes.
Because Erica
Luckily-
Badu's cousin over here brought it out here, so we can have
I'm
peace
just
and
your host
blessings.
for.
This is just typically not appropriate for a tasting because the scent of the candle will interfere with
I
your
thought about
smell.
that, yeah.
However, we can't really smell this one. So it's just the ambiance.
That's because it's from IKEA.
So I just want to
and
make
it's
sure
not
folks
a
out
scented-
there
it's not a scented
aren't trying to do whiskey
You
tasting
know what? I actually
with
want money back because I brought it because I thought it was a scented one.
yeah.
Yeah, but what scent would it be?
But why the hell would I just want to burn a candle with no scent?
Look like right. It looks like a cherry blow pop. That's the color it
You would
looks
think
like.
a red candle would have a scent. Now, am I?
No, I'm right there. I thought I was gonna smell cinnamon. As soon as you lit, I was like, I don't want cinnamon in my nose.
If I buy a red candle, it should have scent. Now I can see a white candle. But
so, are you saying that every colored candle has to have a scent?
I'm just my expectation.
They just don't color the wax to go with your decor.
You can do whatever you want to do.
I make that same assumption.
Is a colored candle would have a scent.
I make that same assumption.
And you know what they always think?
I just want to make sure
they make terrible assumptions and say that all colored people can't swim.
I just want to make sure the same way you don't have
can they dance?
They can dance and run real fast.
The same way you don't have a scented candle in your kitchen because it messes with the palate of your food. The same way you shouldn't have a scented candle when you drink it.
That makes sense now. That makes sense.
And I like to think that the moral of the story is don't judge a candle
by its color. Hey, now the more you know. Somebody put the star to go across. The more you know. Hey, I'm waiting for one of those to come out about these protest riots.
That's right.
The more you know.
Don't judge.
Did you know you couldn't? Did you know that you couldn't smash a window in with a chair and then steal a lectern and not get prosecuted?
Well, apparently you can because that guy has not been arrested yet.
I'm just saying.
As what's today? The 9th of January. The 9th of January. That guy that broke the window has not been arrested.
So, can I tell you that?
Go ahead.
Interesting. That the more you know, if your protest has the word black in the name of it. You will not make it that close to the
immediate response, preparation.
Yeah. But if not, they open up the gates and let you come in and then be like, oops, we should never did
that. If your protest has the word patriot, they waving you in.
So we are in the DC area, and in 2013 there was an issue with a young black woman who made a U-turn and Capitol Police shot and killed her.
She got too close.
All she did was make a U-turn
and had a baby
at the barrier. Right. And
that was bad.
And
now, mind you, this is a whole
condolences to her family.
Absolutely, this is a whole trough of people.
It's just
sad situation. I'm glad though. I'm glad we are. It seems as though we are learning from it as a country.
Oh no, we're not.
Hopefully we can progress. Like you said, that might be the case, but
I don't think we learned anything as a country.
I hope it's an opportunity for learning. I hope it's an opportunity for people to reflect and realize that this was not the way to go from the beginning. Not just because of what happened that day. From the very beginning, when people were telling them this is where it was going to head. So,
here's my closing remark.
Go ahead.
My editorial.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we get back to whiskey.
As a country, I don't really care if we learn from any of it. To be honest, I'm over that. As a people, I hope that it is on full display for the folks that think that we should not do better as a people, because you clearly saw what was on display. I was at the Black Lives Matter joke, right? They were shooting tear gas just so this joker could do a photo op. These jokers didn't get no tear gas after the fact. When they sent in the night team of the DC police, that's when folks started getting their heads kicked.
And they were ready.
The night team was like, brother, we've been watching this on TV.
They
was like, we've been watching this all day.
What was interesting about that, I saw brothers across the front line. They were ready. Is it 6 o'clock yet? They were ready to clear that square.
They were suiting up like,
I wanted to be a DC police at that moment when I saw those brothers line.
It reminded me of Lambda.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Revenge of the Nerds when the black brothers from the Trinity came out to protect the nerds.
Hey, dude. Let me tell you something.
I'm not saying Congress is nerds.
Great commentary. Great commentary point.
The 19, them jokers was suiting up like, yes sir. They like any other time we are standing around.
I don't even need OT for this. I don't even got to pay me overtime for this.
Lord. They was like, my stick hasn't worked in years. That joker was like, yep, feels good.
6 o'clock time for Greg's. If you're you're not from Atlanta, but it's 6 o'clock time for Greg's Street to rock. That was what we used to say at 6 o'clock.
My man was like, yeah, it works. Yeah.
So,
all right, Jefferson Reserve Black Bottle. What we dealing with here?
This is actually a bottled cocktail, which historically I am not a fan of, but at Damo's request, we have opened up our aperture a little bit to this Manhattan in a bottle.
But it's Jefferson Reserve, so you would think if it's made, so if it's made by
a quality company,
but like so you have Grand Marnier, then you have Triple Sec, and then you got like when Al was here, we was talking about this like Raz, then there's Chambord, and then there's, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So if it's made by a whiskey company, I'm thinking, you got to go in. You don't want to stank out your whiskey profile by putting out garbage in your catalog.
Y'all already said I was on the short, so I will let y'all taste since apparently y'all didn't get to taste it that day, and give me your thoughts.
This is the first time I even touched the bottle. Like not even get to the point where I'm tasting it.
It's not even my bottle. It's Damo's bottle.
I bought the bottle. And
Right.
Getting that.
As soon as give me that nigga.
Hey, look,
Give me that bottle.
Hey, look, I bought the bottle. I was like, hey, man, you should try this. He was like,
What's wrong with you?
It tastes good.
Yeah.
Kevin, but I just want some.
Give me that bottle, Damo. Kevin, get the film. Film me. Let me tell people about this.
Oh, film boy. Film my thoughts.
Yes, massa.
I'm an executive steward now.
Yes, massa.
And get my good side,
let me read
dummy.
it here. It says,
Lord.
crafted in collaboration with the editors of Esquire. And that is the Esquire magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Notice the font.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole blurry front where words are blocked out. You can barely read it.
That's what I'm saying. The font, the Esquire font is, that's how you know.
Now, while I'm nosing this, would you please give us what does a Manhattan consist of? Recipe traditionally.
Ooh.
Well, here's the thing.
He know bourbon,
don't-
but do he know cocktail?
You don't need to nose this. It's a cocktail.
It's cocktail. You definitely
Right.
don't need to know.
Yeah.
Well, there's another point.
Yeah.
But still, though, what is in a Manhattan? What should we expect?
So definitely bourbon.
Gotcha.
Right.
Bourbon.
And so a Manhattan is typically you get a little bit of orange in there. There's a liqueur in there.
Yep.
I'm not sure which one right off the top of my head.
Sweet bitters is in there.
Is it sweet bitters or
Sweet bitters.
Manhattan is the first time I heard the term bitters and saw it in the drink.
Sweet bitters.
Yeah.
orange and there's something I'm missing. There's another.
Sugar's in there.
We do have the internet here. Let me
What
see
else?
what we
That's
That's old fashioned. No,
Yeah.
no. I think
you're right.
No.
I was confusing old fashioned and Manhattan. So
So-
Manhattan is probably a little different.
a little bit.
Yeah. So the Manhattan is typically drinking out of or is enjoyed in a martini glass, chilled, right? Is that kind of cocktail?
I wouldn't say that.
Or is that
say
oh no, I'm
I would
thinking
say
of
it's
a
it's
cosmopolitan.
cocktail glass. Cocktail glass, couple cubes.
So why don't we
Okay.
why don't we read it?
Yeah. Well, they actually
Bourbon combined with the finest sweet and dry vermouth,
Vermouth
and
bitters.
and barreled bitters.
There you go.
Okay.
See?
There you go.
Now this one says
guess what I
Canadian
did?
whiskey, bourbon blend. Okay, so you can't make it with whiskey also though, as opposed to bourbon, according to just internet.
Bourbon is a whiskey.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You're not gonna do it with Scotch whiskey because then if you do it with Scotch whiskey or something like that, then it becomes a raw
But
brew.
all bourbons are whiskey, but not all
FYI.
whiskeys are bourbon.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So when you change it and you make a Manhattan with Scotch, it's a Rob Roy. It's no longer a Manhattan.
Look at that.
He is so excited
Look
when
at
he knows something.
He does
you
know
see how
it.
he said
He
that
knows
twice?
it.
You
He
see how he
knows
jumped
it.
in there twice? Hey, Rob Roy. I'm talking about Rob Roy over here. We got Rob Roy here.
So first off,
you do with the Scotch is Rob Roy.
I did not go to an
It's a Rob Roy.
executive
Do you know
stewardship.
who is Rob Roy?
You know that guy.
You got for all our homies out there, you got yours out the mud, and you got it from the streets.
No,
I did.
I went and got I got a bartender certification
Oh,
just so I can have it.
why am? I have a question.
I have it just so I
Why
can
are
have
we
it.
just learning that in the last episode of the season that you are a certified bartender?
Hey, that's the info to make you watch all the way to the end of the season.
So at the bottom of this, it says colored with carrot extract and
that-
contains sulfites.
That's it right there.
Interesting.
Now, is that dangerous?
Sulfites keep it. No, sulfites keep it.
I feel like that's something I got to check my with my allergist to make
you
sure I'm
have
not
a bunch of-
allergic to sulfites.
When you have a bunch
Hell
of
is
when you have a
that?
bunch of sugary stuff in there, you got to have
That sound
something
like
in
what they
there
gonna tell you when you
that's
take
gonna
the
stop
vaccine.
it from what you call it from getting rank.
That's what. Oh, okay, that's what that does.
Yeah, it's
So
stopping
I
from.
don't need
it's
to check
stopping
with
from because sugar will turn into mold real quick.
So I don't need to check with my allergist before taking this.
Oh, go ahead and put these. As long as you're not putting it under your armpits.
People like, what's that with the people with the vaccine look like?
Yeah, to get that bells. To get that. I ain't mean to make that face.
I support the vaccine. I think everyone should take it. I think it's
I support Bell's palsy.
Wildly inappropriate.
Yeah, that might,
I'm not going to comment on that.
social commentary.
Yeah. So what did I say in the short about this? I don't even remember.
you look like Two-Face from Batman.
In the short, you were like, I think you said you liked it. Did you? Let's start with that. Did you say you liked it in the short?
I think I did.
Now you said not. I do remember the expression you said was not bad. And you said
I think I
if
said
you're
it would be
looking
good
for-
over ice.
Yeah, if you're looking for a,
I think he said
exactly. You
I think
said
he
Ice Cube.
Hey everybody. he said, yeah, it's not a bad cocktail.
That's what I do remember that.
I would have it over ice.
Yeah.
You know what? Get yourself a bottle.
Now, what do you think now in the longer review?
I think you can take that bottle.
sexy,
I think
King
you can take
San
that
Diego.
bottle home with you.
Ooh.
Oh, now I can have it back.
Yeah, now you have it back.
Well, he just wham bam. Thank you, man. Thank you.
I think the problem is we've tasted these
Yeah.
other two selections before this.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like hard to go from
It is.
that pureness back to a
I might
mix
still
in the
be okay
cocktail.
with it if I just had that over ice and I was sitting somewhere. I don't know what people do when they drink Manhattans.
Absolutely agree.
After having these, what you just said,
Yeah.
I don't like it.
You don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
I think all of the
And I
sweet
feel like
that's coming
I love
out.
cocktails. I'm a cocktail guy.
Give me that.
Okay. I'm a cocktail guy, but after having these first, that kind of like that threw me off.
Yeah.
That fruitiness really
It's
threw
like
me off.
It does.
Yeah.
Because that's what threw me off when you asked me, and I know the recipe for a Manhattan, but when you asked me, I'm processing what I taste, and it's like, I think I know what's in a Manhattan, but it don't necessarily. Right, it doesn't really taste like what's in this bottle.
Have I ever had a Manhattan?
Whose bottle of Jefferson is this?
Mine.
This is?
It's the shows. Any and all bottles on this table are property of BringTheWhiskey.com.
Yeah, which is a registered trademark of Bourbon
Please tell them
Brain
that.
Wheeler.
Please remind them this is a registered trademark of licensed to.
I would like to say that right now we are the only podcast with a executive.
I think
perfect score steward.
I
But
think
after season 1, it'll just be me and this fool right here. And we'll just be mixing shit with Pepsi.
I just walk through while you film it and throw something on
100
set.
million views on YouTube.
It'll be some strippers in here. We're
100
gonna have
million views on
Hennessy
YouTube.
will be there. And we're gonna call it that in the cup.
100 million views on
Lord
YouTube.
have mercy.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so I'm not. So we
Not a big fan
should
of
we
right
shouldn't
now.
have done these together. Yeah,
or at least maybe this first.
You know what?
so maybe
The order.
maybe.
If you add that to it,
That's what I was saying.
Well,
I was thinking.
now you're
I was
making a
thinking
stronger
like,
cocktail.
Absolutely.
it up.
Yeah.
now
That's
now
what I was
it's
thinking. Yeah.
now it's delicious.
Yeah. So maybe this would have been first for our palate, and then.
Oh, we
but
just could have just looked at the bottom. talked
even though I'm
about
not an expert in flights, but
it. We could have just had a conversation about it.
Yeah.
We could have just read the back and was like, hey.
Well, while we're on hiatus between season 1 and season 2, I do think we should get to some of those cocktail episodes we've been talking about. We just never pulled the trigger on.
Are we gonna make a couple cocktails?
Yeah.
And we can just do them straight up. Like, we don't even need to get a bartender like we did before. We can just get, technically,
Experiment.
I can do it myself.
you are a bartender.
Yeah,
Did not
but-
know
yeah,
that.
we would
You
do
didn't
sure.
even mention that during the bartending episode.
Nope, not once.
Wow.
It wasn't about me.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's about the show, but
I'm selfless.
You are a member of the show.
I'm selfless.
So what I would also like to do is next season is do another Jefferson edition, but we do the other Jefferson. So regular Jefferson Reserve, Jefferson Ocean, and then one of those other special select
Yep.
ones. Now that's
We
the
can do
That's a $300 podcast. Those bottles.
I just want y'all to know, for real, in all honesty, if you watch this podcast, you like, hey, I wonder how much these guys pay. We are dropping dough on these bottles. Like, you do understand. And you don't see us say, yeah, you can Cash App us or go fund me or send us a dough. We don't never say that. Get yourself some merch. Cop the merch. Drop us a like. That's all we want, for real.
Yeah, we keep funding. We keep funding.
We giving y'all an executive bourbon brain. What else you want?
Oh my gosh.
You want us to cut our wrists and be blood brothers? Not during COVID.
I don't think that's how that works. I don't think you cut wrists. I don't think that's how that works.
I think that is how it works.
You
I
cut
think
your wrist?
You gotta cut your wrist.
Yeah.
Bathe in blood.
Your wrist.
wrist.
Yeah, I'm about to
Nah,
say. I
that's
think
a
it's the
weak dude doing
palm.
the palm. We going straight.
Oh, so you want to die together?
right,
We
that's
are
right.
real
Yeah.
blood brothers.
That's how you
As soon
build
as we get
strength.
blood brothers, we're gonna bleed out
Arteries.
and lay here together.
Arteries.
That's right. And don't do it like no southern.
man.
Do it straight across. You better
Yeah.
angle it
Okay, right.
All right.
I don't know what just
and
happened.
use a serrated edge.
I don't know what.
But we know what is happened though is you have graduated from the program. You are official. You're on our show. We love it.
We are the only podcast.
I am
with
ecstatic
a
about.
perfect
I'm
score.
ecstatic about episode.
Right.
Season
Bourbon
And so,
brain.
and while I was in Kentucky for that, and I'm not gonna tell you how I did it.
Did they
but
brand you?
in season two, I smuggled back 22
brand
bottles.
you?
I meant smuggled back 22 bottles from Kentucky.
22 bottles.
So we got a
Of
whole
blends.
new lineup for you. And they don't even sell blends at the Buffalo Trace Distillery.
What?
Because it's so popular. They don't really. Every now and then they have a special release. They'll have it there, but they only sell the
That's
basic
where
stuff
you got
there.
to be in the line thing again.
Yeah, I was in 2 lines.
Yeah.
I got access to a couple real special bottles and some things that you only could get in Kentucky.
That means we'll never taste it.
No, we're gonna have
be
it on
on
the
a short.
podcast. We're
It'll
gonna do it in the
be on a
podcast.
really short.
Yeah, we're
It'll
doing
be
it on
on
the
the
show
podcast as a short.
where it's just me. It'll be just me on this show. Like
you'll see,
And that's
see us.
yes.
That'll be locked
That'll
up
put
under
this-
lock and key.
You'll see us reach for it. He'll be like, and we'll be like,
You're like, that That's pretty good.
I'm looking forward to sharing it with the audience.
Blowing you guys' face so you know what it's like.
I'm looking forward to sharing those 22 bottles with our audience, not necessarily
you guys want
YouTube jokers.
He like knows that. Knows that. You smell it?
What you smell? Let me tell you what I say.
Let me tell you what I say. Put your finger in it. What you taste?
Oh, break the eyedroppers back out. Remember we had the eyedroppers with the water? Here you go.
Taste that.
Look at me sitting there like
blue collar. Blue collar bastard.
None for you. If you can't taste it off of that, you stupid.
I'm gonna tell you, and just a shout out real quick to Merle's Whiskey Kitchen in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes. Do they make like food off of like using whiskey or?
Right.
Yes, there's I think there is whiskey ingredients in their food, but food fantastic. It was right on Bourbon Road. That was a good sign. Anybody that's in Kentucky, Louisville, y'all stopped by Merle's Whiskey Kitchen, and they were really nice folks.
I still think
outdoor dining, socially distanced.
That's key.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shoot. I guess we're gonna wrap this.
Yeah, we wrap this up. What reflection on the season and looking forward? What do you think, Demo?
Oh, we're gonna bring you more and more and more and more and more.
Are we doing the
expensive bottles?
Are we doing our rating system though? Which one you taking to the cookout?
We were going.
So everybody's over here. Yeah. Everybody's over here.
Show both of those.
Yeah. This is where we at.
So left side of the candle.
So
we good.
But let's not. I mean, let's not rule that out. Let's not rule that out. For us, we're going with these, right? Yeah. And I'm not gonna say in any particular order, even though that one is way more complex than this one. But this is a good start off if you're just getting your toe into the upscale whiskeys. That right there, if you're a person who doesn't want to do straight whiskey, but you still want to be part of that culture, bam. Because you can.
I love a good cocktail.
What you can do is
I love a good cocktail.
Because even with a low key flex on it, try to do that. Low key flex, you still saying it's Jefferson Reserve, and it's in collaboration with Esquire magazine. So even still, you seem like you
between those two, somebody got to know what
you're
doing
it
right.
Big. Yeah, you're doing it big.
I think the thing that throws me off about this is
you can do it for the ladies. You can pour it in their glass.
If we call it
ice.
As soon as I taste it, and maybe it's just as soon as I taste it, I know that there's things that you can do to enhance it, right? More bourbon,
like pour more.
Or even just freshening it up. Like give me a fresh, give me a fresh,
my word for the year, the season,
fresh slice of lime or something that brightens it.
But you don't put a lime in Manhattan.
Something to brighten this up because it tastes like a cocktail that's been in a bottle.
So that's what you got. Maybe you got to shake it
Tastes
up.
a little
slice of orange.
Maybe now, shake it up like a juicy juice.
Well, I guess that brings another thing to mind. With this being a pre-mixed cocktail, almost right?
Does it expire?
Do you think exactly? That's what I'm about to say. Do you think it got flat sitting in the bottle after we've opened it?
Because we definitely didn't refrigerate it.
Now, if someone knows that out there, please put that in the comments.
It's not in that bottle. I want to see if it say refrigerate after opening.
Yeah, because that might be it. That might be the case.
Might be. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess my point is, if I gotta do other stuff to make it better, then why wouldn't I just make my cocktail myself?
This is a cocktail for people who are not. They want a Manhattan, but they don't know how to mix it. Like, I mean, give them some credit. It definitely doesn't say refrigerator. So this is like the hot sauce of bourbon drinks.
Open it, stick it on the shelf.
Yep, because it definitely don't say that.
All right.
Well, I'll give my impressions of the season. Well, I really looked forward for the season. I learned so much. You guys have brought the knowledge and the expertise. I've even increased my knowledge just a little bit of the bourbons and the whiskeys, and I look forward to what's going on next season. So excited about it. Hopefully, we'll have an all new set. We'll have all new content, way to reach and interact with you guys.
All new set.
Yeah, maybe.
Y'all have to buy a lot of merch for us to get a new set.
Depending on how long we take off.
We got a budget. Yeah. We got
a budget. We
got federal funding.
We have no budget, no production schedule.
If you can see a picture of all this we have around us, you would definitely feel like we have a budget. Shouts out to D. We really appreciate this season, man. You did a great job. Looking forward to bigger and better things in the future. And I'll let Mr. Bourbon Brain wrap it up for us.
Yeah, same thing. I'm looking forward to our next season. We're gonna go on a little bit of a hiatus and get our ducks in a row for next season. But stay tuned though. Stay tuned on Facebook. Stay tuned on Instagram. Even stay tuned on YouTube. We'll be dropping some shorts out there absolutely. In the meantime before we get back up to full episodes.
Dropping shorts. That means you get to see our butt.
And I look forward to more unbridled ignorance in 2021.
Oh,
unbridled.
If you thought 2020 was bad, wait till 2021. I'm taking the wheels off.
So,
all right, he already did.
Sign us off.
Right?
All right,
yeah,
we
good. Hey, thanks everybody.
Hey everybody.
See you next season.
Thanks everybody.
From Old Tub, again, being the old episode. to Old Granddad. Now we've had the bottled and bond Old Granddad before, right?
That was delicious.
Which we didn't mention that this is also bottled and bond, the old tub.
Yeah, they got the same. They got the same core.
Want to know about bottled and bond? Yes. You can go to the YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
We have a 6-part series, 3 parts individually, and then another for the final 3 episodes.
It's phenomenal
on YouTube where we talk about a bunch of old, bottled and bond expressions. So go check that out.
Matter of fact,